Ever thought F1 drivers are all squeaky clean heroes? Think again, some drivers messed up so badly, F1 banned them forever. And trust me, some of these stories are wild. Formula 1 might be glamorous, fast, thrilling, but there's another side, one that's a little darker. Today we're diving into stories of Formula 1 drivers who went too far and ended up getting kicked out of the sport entirely. Cheating, scandals, and even crimes, these drivers didn't just break the rules, they shattered them. Stick around because each story gets crazier than the last. Let's kick things off with Yuji Ide, possibly the least prepared driver to ever set foot in F1. Ide joined Super Aguri in 2006, a tiny team from Japan with big ambitions. But right away, everyone could see something was off. Ide was slow, really slow. But slow wasn't the big problem. Dangerous was. Just 4 races into the 2006 season, Ide caused a massive crash at the San Marino Grand Prix. He slammed into Christian Albers, sending Albers' car flipping upside down like a stunt from an action movie. Thankfully, Albers walked away unharmed, but F1 authorities weren't impressed. They looked closer and saw Ide was driving so erratically, it was like letting someone without a license behind the wheel of a Ferrari. Ide's super license was revoked and he was permanently banned from F1. It wasn't just about speed, it was about safety, and Ide just wasn't safe. Now moving on to the next story, hold on to your seat because this one is pure Hollywood. Nelson Piquet Jr., son of 3-time world champion Nelson Piquet, raced for Renault back in 2008, but he was struggling. His seat was hanging by a thread, and he desperately needed results. Enter Singapore, Grand Prix 2008. Fernando Alonso, Piquet Jr.'s teammate, pits unusually early. Shortly after, Piquet crashes violently, bringing out a safety car at the perfect moment to help Alonso jump to the front and win the race. At first, everyone thought it was just bad luck, but years later, Piquet spilled everything and it turned out Renault's bosses had ordered him to crash intentionally. This was massive, one of the biggest scandals ever in sports history. Renault's reputation took a huge hit, while Renault's bosses got lifetime bans. Piquet Jr. was also banned from Formula 1, but given immunity for his cooperation. His career was effectively over though. He tried racing other categories, but his legacy was stained by what became known as Crashgate. Next up, it isn't just one single driver, it's an entire team. Andrea Motta Formula briefly appeared in F1 in 1992. Imagine the worst possible team you could think of, then multiply that by 10. They were disorganized, their cars barely worked, and their owner was, well, not exactly honest. Andrea Sassetti, the team owner, faced allegations of fraud and shady deals. Drivers Perry McCarthy and Robert Moreno faced humiliating race weekends where sometimes the car didn't even run. At the 1992 Belgian Grand Prix, Sassetti got arrested mid-weekend over accusations of financial wrongdoing. The FIA had enough. They banned Andrea Motta from Formula 1 completely, calling them dangerous, embarrassingly incompetent, and with that, Andrea Motta became the laughingstock of the motorsport. Now, not every ban in Formula 1 history was permanent or even fair. Take Riccardo Patrese. He later became one of F1's most respected drivers, but in 1978, he was at the center of a controversial accident. At the Italian Grand Prix, Patrese was blamed for causing a crash that tragically killed driver Ronnie Peterson. Other drivers were furious, and F1 temporarily banned Patrese for one race. It turned out, though, after reviewing footage, Patrese wasn't actually at fault. Still, the ban stuck briefly and took years for Patrese to build his reputation. It goes to show that even in Formula 1, sometimes emotions overpower fairness. Speaking of controversial bans, Eddie Irvine's entry into Formula 1 was unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Irvine joined Jordan Racing in 1993, and right from his debut race, he made a huge splash by angering the legend Ayrton Senna. After a risky overtake and reckless driving at the Japanese Grand Prix, Senna famously confronted Irvine after the race and punched him in the face. The FIA also stepped in, banning Irvine for 3 races for reckless driving. Irvine, of course, bounced back and became Ferrari's star driver alongside Michael Schumacher. Still, his rocky start reminded everyone F1 doesn't mess around when it comes to safety. Now, speaking of Michael Schumacher, you probably didn't expect him to be on this list, but even legends aren't immune. In 1994, Schumacher was banned for 2 races after ignoring a black flag at the British Grand Prix. A black flag basically means, hey, you're out, stop racing immediately, but Schumacher ignored it and kept going, eventually getting disqualified. But this was Schumacher. The ban only fueled his competitive fire. After serving his punishment, he returned stronger, eventually clinching his first world championship that same year. Now the next one is crazy. A driver banned because of an off-track incident, but one that actually changed Formula 1 history. Bertrand Gachot, sorry if I butchered that, was racing for Jordan in 1991 and had a small altercation in London. He sprayed tear gas at a taxi driver during an argument. Sounds pretty minor, right? But not to British court. They sentenced him to jail for 2 months. This ban left his Jordan seat empty, and guess who filled it? A young, unknown driver named Michael Schumacher. Yup, one of the greatest drivers in F1 history got his break because Gachot was banned. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. For Schumacher, anyway. For Gachot, he never truly recovered from this incident. So don't spray taxi drivers with tear gas. This next one, again, wasn't a ban on drivers directly, but it banned teams and was unforgettable. In 2005 at the US Grand Prix in Indianapolis, Michelin tires were dangerously failing during practice. Michelin asked to change the track layout for safety. The FIA, of course, refused. So all the Michelin team's 14 drivers boycotted the race, leaving just 6 Bridgestone cars racing. Fans were outraged, throwing beer cans onto the track, booing and storming out. While this wasn't a driver-specific ban, it showcased how safety rules could effectively sideline top competitors and create chaos. It took years for Formula 1 to win back American fans after this debacle. Lastly, let's quickly hit an old school story. Sir Stirling Moss, the legendary British driver known for fairness, sportsmanship, and incredible talent, was briefly banned after an accident in 1960. Moss was accused of unfairly causing a collision at the Portuguese Grand Prix. He protested vehemently and even threatened retirement if authorities didn't reverse the ban. After reviewing evidence, authorities agreed they got it wrong and reversed the decision. Moss returned vindicated, reminding everyone that even Formula 1's gentlemen can sometimes find themselves unfairly on the wrong side of racing politics. So there you have it. From dangerous driving, scandalous crashes, off-track drama, these banned F1 drivers remind us that even in Formula 1, there are lines you simply can't cross. While some bounced back, others disappeared into obscurity or infamy. One thing's for sure though, these stories show that F1 isn't just about speed, it's about character, reputation, and integrity. Click on the video right here to check out the most controversial F1 driver ever if you don't want to miss it.